Hi guys, my name is Arsh Singh. Today we're going over fundamentals of SolarWinds MSP remote monitoring and management. Like I said, my name is Arsh Singh. I'm a support engineer at Soft Solutions. In today's contents, we'll be going over how to add monitoring agents. That'll be our first thing we'll be talking about, and then we'll move on to the actual dashboard. We'll go over the north pane, south pane. We'll go over a couple of checks you can apply to the agents. Then we'll go over a couple of features we can apply to the agents, features, and then we'll go over. I'll just show you around the dashboard a bit more after that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to install a monitoring agent. So there are three ways to do it. The first way is manual installation. You actually do it manually on individual machines. Then we have a site installation package. If you have more than one devices you want to put agents on, that way is much easier to do that. And the third and the last way we have is remotely push monitoring agents to device. This only happens if you have Active Directory features enabled, and it only happens to devices within your network. So the first way, manual installation. So on the top left, the first image that shows all you need to do, you go to the agent tab, you go download agent, and then you choose the first agent, which is 10.5.4. This is the latest agent right now. The first one, the 10.5.4, is a GA, is generally available, whereas the RC agent is a release candidate, so it's still in beta version. So you can still download if you guys want to know more about what's coming up next in the new sort of update. But there might be a couple of minor bugs in the RC agent. And of course, at the bottom you can see the agents for Apple operating system OS X. So you can also do the same by going to the file in the top right photo file, add device, download agent, and download agent. After you've downloaded agent, what that will do is download a package on your machine. You run that package, and the first thing you'll see is the bottom left photo, which is a username and password. So after you complete this initial stage of installation, enter the username and password. You can enter as a super user credentials, super admin credentials you have, or you can add the agent credentials you got in the email when you sign up or when you have the trial version. After you're done logging in, go into the next page. On the bottom right image, you can see it's agent mode. How do you want to set up the agent? So you can set the agent as a server or a workstation. Keep in mind that you can change a workstation. You can use a workstation as a server. You can have the server capabilities with the server with a bit of extra cost there. Whereas with a server, you cannot use it as a workstation. So just keep that in mind. The next, after you've chosen what you want, in the top left photo you can see I've chosen as a server. You add as a description. So in the description over here, you can see you add the description of the device. Then you go over the client and site. So what a client and site is, a client can be your customer. So a client is your customer, and the site is different physical sites or different departments of your customer or your client. So enter those in installation template. So that's sort of I'll go over that when I go over the dashboard, what that actually is. In the top right image and the bottom left image, you can see there are two different checks you can configure. So the top right is 24/7 checks, and the bottom left is daily safety checks. So 24/7 checks are checks which run multiple times a day. So as you can see, the frequency is 15 minutes and 24/7 checks. Whereas in daily safety checks, the bottom left image, it runs at a particular time you've set for that checks. So it's 6 a.m. as you can see in the bottom left image. It's set up to hour of day, 6 a.m. And you can always configure checks. So when you click on configure checks, there will be a list of checks you want to configure, like disk space check, performance monitor check. I'll go over those in a bit of details when I go over the dashboard. And then after you have configured checks, click next. You test all the checks and you just go next, and that's all it takes for your agent. That's manual installation for your agent. Next we'll look at the site installation. So The same way to do it, go agent, download agent, and we choose the last one, which is here, download site installation. So what that will bring us to is this top right image, download site package. It's pretty self-explanatory. So there are two ways you can, there are two types of site installation packages. The number one is group policy installer. You can use the for this to work, you can use the GPO feature in your DC servers, in the Active Directory. That you can push it out in that way. You can email it to people. The second way is remote worker installer. It's a silent, so the end user wouldn't know that they wouldn't know you won't be able to distract them when you use the second version. So after you just hit next after this, and it will take you to this screen. So in order for this to work, what do you need to do? You make a new client, or you can use any sort of you have to make a new client in this, and then you choose a site, name a site, and then you choose the agent. Of course, this is a bit of old agent, but you'll use here 10.5.4, or if you want to use a release candidate, you can untick the proxy if you don't want to use it, or if you want to use it, pretty easy input here. And after you go next, you choose what sort of package do you want to download. How would you want to install it on the agents? So you use group policy installer or remote work installer. You download that package with all these information there already on the package, and you can put it in a USB, take it to the machines you want to install this on, or you can email the package to the people you want to install it on, and all they need to do is just run the package, and that's it. They don't need to do anything else, because all of that you've already done beforehand. The last way to remotely add an agent to a machine is you go over to the network tab in the north pane. I'll go over that in the dashboard, and you go over the network tab. You go to the connected devices. As you can see, the agent is a no here, so that means it's not installed. Over here it tells you it's Windows and it's a virtual machine or it's a physical. This one's a virtual, and actually shows you manufacturer and so forth. There are other more tabs here which shows IP address, MAC address. So all you need to do, you right click on an agent on a machine where it's a no, so that means the agent is not installed, and all you need to do is push monitoring agent to device. That's it. There's nothing else for you to do. That's all you need to do. Then go over to the activity tab just over here, and then on the bottom right image, and then at first it will show you agent push install initiated, so that means it's actually installing the agent on the machine, and then go over to agent push install completed. Like you can see here for device named Kahoo PC, that's all done. It's a green tick, and you will be able to see this Kahoo PC on your dashboard after you have done this. So let's take a look on what the dashboard looks like. So this is a normal, this is the opening page, the home page for the dashboard. Let me just zoom out a bit. There we go. This is the home page for the dashboard. So like I was talking about the department, the client, and site. This is the hierarchy for that. So over here it says departments, but for you guys it would say clients, or could be departments as well. So for example, Soft Solutions is my client, so that's my client. You guys can have a lot of clients here, and the sites in the client as Soft Solutions are not physically anywhere else. We just have a couple of departments, a couple of sites within the office. So we have test, office, laptops, and demo site. So let's look at test, and we'll show you the in this case it's the server in the test. And if I go to office, it will show me workstations. I go to workstations here, and it will show me the PCs in the office. So we'll just look at the test for this presentation. So this is the north pane over here, right here. That's the north pane from the servers to just this arrow bottom right, and this is the south pane. So it's easy to refer to when we troubleshooting. So now north pane, south pane. So let's go over north pane first. So these over here, north pane. So this is a device, as you guys can see. The departments of solutions. The site is test, and the server name and description. I can add anything in the description as I want. It tells you that there's an error in this. If there was no error, it'll be green in color. I would say okay. The operating system. And these are the types of alerts you want: SMS, email alerts. take control, remote background. So I'll go over these one by one. So these are the features which are configured with this particular server. As you guys can see, it's take control here. It's green dot, that means it's active. Remote background, backup is not supported, so that's a gray dot. If there was a blue dot over here, that would mean it needs to reboot. Like this feature requires the reboot for this device. And if there was a yellow dot, that means it's actually installing, so it's still in a pending state. And if there's no dot, that means it's not installed. So from here, from maintenance mode to TeamViewer, these are the features we have, all of these. And these are the checks. I'll go over the checks just in a bit. So this is what a north pane looks like. You can always configure what sort of columns do you want. As you can see, I've pretty much ticked all the columns here. Let's see operating systems unticked. I have one operating system here, and I'll show you what operating system you have on this machine. I do not really want that one because you can actually see the operating system by hovering a mouse. On top of this, we have, what else do we have here? So last response to the SolarWinds server, and then we have last boot time for this device. Then we can actually search servers. If you have a lot of servers, you don't actually have to scroll up and down to look for it, and you can actually filter servers by offline servers, any sort of problems that servers have. In my case, it's only one server. And this over here, so in total we have 6 servers, and 5 of them have problems. And this is workstations, we have 16, and 12 of them have problems. So it's a pretty, it gives you a good sort of overview of what sort of machines are having problems. So this is servers. If you have any sort of workstations, the workstations would come up here. Mobile devices and services, you guys can contact me later on this. Mobile devices, if you have any sort of mobiles configured in this network, you can always add a mobile. And of course, single device, multiple device, pretty easy to do that. Services, if you guys have Active Directory configured, you can actually back up Office 365 with this. In networks, which I just explained before, it shows the IP address and MAC address, so I wouldn't want to go there. So that's the network tab. It actually shows you the third way we used in monitoring, right clicking and pushing the agent. So that was this is the north pane. Now let's go over the south pane. So these are the types of checks configured with this particular selected device. If there are more device, and if I select a separate device, there'll be different types of checks. So every device has different types of checks. So this Arsh Singh, the server, has these checks configured. So you can see disk space check. I want to know performance monitoring check. Windows Server. So these are of course, the green means okay. The check has cleared. Everything's perfect there. Whereas a red cross means it's failed. Like you can see, antivirus update check has failed for mine. And and then let's go over this. So this is the outage email alert. So if a check fails, it should send you an email. And if the check fails, it should also send you an outage SMS alert. Keep in mind, the outage email alert is a free. You can use it for free. You don't have to pay for this. But whereas if it's an SMS alert, you want SMS on your phone straight away. That's just a bit. You have to pay just a bit for that. We have recovery email. That would mean after the outage has come, after the check has failed and it's cleared, everything is okay. It'll check you an email as well, and the SMS, same with SMS. So these are, if it was ticked here, it would actually send me an email if this check fails, and you can just go save changes. I don't want these emails. We have the status of the check, okay or not. Then we got the check frequency. How often do these checks appear? And we have the types of checks. If it's a daily safety checks or a 24/7 checks. And a couple of notes. If you want to add a note next to this check, if somebody else is joining your shift after, you can leave a note for that, or you can just leave a note for yourself so you don't forget next time. Description of the checks, the more information on the checks, date and time, and assigned tasks, if there are any sort of assigned tasks with it. If the check has failed, and if you click here, you clear the check, that one, clear check, it will become an orange tick. That means that you know that the check has failed and you will look into it later. Okay, so we have a summary tab here. It tells you the information, the types of checks configured here, amount of checks failed, software details, and the hardware, the assets for the device. We have outages, the failed outages, and we have closed outages and open outages. We got checks. Okay, we've been over that one. Notes, any sort of notes you left with this device for, like in this case, I've left a note for antivirus update check. We got tasks. We have automated tasks running with that particular device for these checks. You can always, as you can see, the status is stopped. You can just right click and run automated task. We got assets. So this shows the related information of the hardware for this this device. As you can see, all this, so you don't have to go back to the device and actually look into my computers and stuff. So patches, missing patches, and installed patches. This gives an overview of what's missing and what's fully installed. And patches can be not just Microsoft patches. We have Adobe, Firefox, Google Chrome patches as well. Antivirus. If you have antivirus configured with this device, it will show you any sort of threats it found when the scans are run. Quick scan, as you guys can see here, deep scan, and anything which is quarantined, and you can take an action. You want to release, delete, or empty. So this is sort of the information we see in the south pane. And now let's go over, let me show you how to add checks. How would you add more checks? So that's how you do it in south pane. So you select the device, and there it is. Add check. Then you want to decide if it's a 24/7 check or a daily safety checks. As I mentioned before, 24/7 checks happen multiple times a day, whereas a daily safety check happens at a particular time of the day, so once a day, or more than once a day if you have configured like 6 a.m. or 12 p.m. So these are the types of checks. Let's look at disk space check. You can add that. You can choose your drive. See drive only. Threshold. You can choose it as percentage. It will give you an email. Alert settings. It will give you an email if the check has failed. Or you can choose from percentage. You can use gigabytes. If 25 gigabits are left, it will shoot you an email that this check has failed. And same with daily safety checks, antivirus update check. Let's have a look there. You choose the antivirus here running on the server update or workstation, and you choose the days, what days you want to run, and that check is fully configured. So that was the checks. Now let's look at a couple of features you can run with this, you can install on this device. So all you need to do is from here, you go to settings, and let's look at take control first. Take control is a screen sharing feature that allows you to remotely look at share a screen. So this is a hierarchy. So you choose if you want to enable this for a server or a workstation. So you choose a server here. Solve solution is our department or client, and then you choose the site test. Let's see. So test for it's on. You can always use parent would be this. If it was off for this, if it's use parent here, it will be off for this as well. You choose the type of the engine you want to configure, TeamViewer or MSP Anywhere. I prefer MSP Anywhere. And the default policy. I've actually done another webinar on take control, MSP Anywhere. You guys, I'll put it in the description as well, so you guys can have a look at that. Then we have remote background settings. So what that does is you can perform remote command line without interrupting the end user. So command like CMD commands, you can do that for this machine, of course. We got patch management. Patch management actually lets you install security patches and patches for other non-Microsoft softwares as well. So make sure it's on from here in the settings. You can for missing patches, you can change it to alert mode or report mode. So I'll tell you what that is. Include vulnerabilities. Very easy to go through this as well. If it's a critical, do you want it to automatically approve it or manually? Important, moderate, low, other. You have other vendors, same with the settings for these as well. You can manually schedule it or schedule installation. Like I've installed it at 19, and Monday or Wednesday, Thursday, I run it every day, weekly. You can choose if you want to reboot your machine after the patches are installed. Run ASAP, and it'll send you an email if the patches have failed, if the patch installation has failed. So that's how easy it is with patch management. Then we'll look at, okay, that was the wrong click. Okay, so now after this we'll look at manage antivirus. Okay, that's just refreshing. Let's just wait for that. Okay, we'll go settings. Well, let's look at manage antivirus. Manage antivirus. So with manage antivirus, same sort of hierarchy you see when you go settings, manage antivirus settings, solve solutions, and you choose your site, test, like I'm using use parent. Let's say turn it on. Choose your engine, Bitdefender, and you choose the policy. Let me go through the policies. What sort of policies we have with manage antivirus? So let's go to protection policy. You can always create a new one, or you can edit the current one. Let me just double click on this one. We'll just edit this one. So this is the type of screen you'll see after you've come and change the policy or create a new policy for managed antivirus. You name the policy. You choose if you want to show taskbar icon for the end user. In our case, it's the selected device, the Arsh Singh. And these are a couple of additional features you can use with this. You can scanning. You can choose when to scan and what to scan. You can use a quick scan, and you can use a deep scan. Of course, you can use a quick scan as a deep scan and deep scan as a quick scan. Depends what you have ticked, what type of scan you're running. Active protection, remediation, behavioral scanning, that's really good. It'll actually automatically detect if there's anything fishy going on there on your machine. Exclusions, of course, you can add any sort of exclusions you do not want to scan, which you are aware of. So that's type of policies you can do with managed antivirus. And after managed antivirus have run, let me show you here. It will, so that's managed antivirus Bitdefender, and I'll show you green dot. It's active and up and running. Next, we'll look at web protection. Let's have a look at web protection. Same thing, settings, solve solutions, test. Let's turn it on here. There we go. And you can choose the policy, what sort of policy you want to run with web protection. Let's look at a couple of web protection policies. Okay, you can always same thing, same sort of way to do so. You make a new policy or edit the new one. I'll just double click on this one. I'll show you guys what sort of it looks like. Okay, so that's the general tab and the policy, web protection policy window. So you name the policy, and if you have, so over here we have configured it as between moderate and suspicious. If a website is sort of in between, below that, it will show this message to the end user that access to the website has been blocked. You can always change it to high risk, or if you want to do moderate risk, if you are, it depends on what you want to do. You can always choose a show taskbar icon of the end user. It will show a little icon over here that web protection is on. Installation settings, choose your language. Web security, the green means allow, the red means block. You can filter the search. As you guys can see here, we have blocked all these the liabilities, and we have allowed, for this particular policy, we've allowed these. You can whitelist websites, you can blacklist websites, and this is a really convenient way. You can schedule when do you want to run these two, or when do you want to run all these. You can, over here we have Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, we have blocked. We have blocked these whitelist, blacklist, and all these. That's when these actually work. We got checks. You can notify when the bandwidth usage exceeds. You can choose that. When do you want to do that? You can just choose your bandwidth. If that exceeds, it will give you a notification. Reporting as well. It's very easy to use. I don't want to save this one. Okay, so that's for web protection. Let's look at script manager now. Let's see what sort of features that brings to us. So there is script manager. If you guys are aware with script manager, this should be very easy for you. All you need to do is to create a new script. name, description, usage notes, if you want to do a script check, or if you want to do automated task for Windows only. And over here, all you need to do is just browse and just upload the file. And the supported languages for scripting are as follows over here: JavaScript, PHP, and so on. These are if you are familiar with scripting. Whereas there's another feature called Automation Manager. It actually it will download on your computer and actually lets you create scripts in a GUI sort of way. If you're not that familiar with scripting, it has more than 100 of elements that actually lets you create scripts. So for people like me who are not very familiar with scripting, that's a really good tool for you. Let's look at Active Directory now. There's another feature, Active Directory settings. So all that does is scans your network. So it provides complete visibility of all devices attached to your network. And because of this feature, the ability to push the devices is that's how you do it. The third way I mentioned, this is the tool you need to turn it on. That's how you would use it. So, and we also have backup and recovery for this device. It's not fully supported. So that's backup and recovery here. So these are all the features here, guys. So take control, remote background, Active Directory, blah blah blah. So all these features you can configure with these devices. And on the south pane, you can see the checks. You can always right click on the device and I'll show you the settings for this. Let's just go edit server. Let me go over that. So they will show you the settings for the particular device, the general settings. When do you want to update the device? You can always set it to auto update as well. Check frequency. You can have remote access. What sort of engine you're running, remote background, patch management if it's on or not, manage antivirus, web protection, and so on and so forth. So these are all the features connected to this server. If you have more than one device and you want to configure similar checks to all those devices, I'm sure it'll be a hard task to configure checks one by one by going like this. So for that we have monitoring templates. So all you need to do is go to settings, monitoring templates, and we'll go new. Make sure that is turned on, and then you configure a lot of checks in one monitoring template, and then you configure to each device, so you don't have to configure checks individually. And yeah, so that's sort of like how to get around. So the main purpose for this was how to get around SolarWinds MSP remote monitoring and management. So this should give you a good overview of the couple of features you can use with the device, the couple of checks, how to use those checks, the north pane, south pane, and the hierarchy for clients and side. And of course over here you have a couple more reporting ways. You have user audit report, you have mailing templates, agent like I showed you here before, download agent. We got remote access, backup, and all these stuff. And if you guys want to know, the white papers for this, click over this and go to Support Center and click on User Manual. This shows you a really easy to get around, or actually gives you a good understanding of how to use what. On the left you can see introduction. You have remote monitors. Every single feature will give you a good example with pictures, of course. So hopefully this helps you understanding how to go about this this dashboard. And feel free to email me if you guys have any sort of questions. Thank you.